Good morning, everybody. Welcome to draft day, and very excited about the draft. My team always does so well. What we got going on here today is making an omelet. The biggest thing about doing breakfast is the timing. So first things first, get these bad boys on, set them at 6. You know, that's a medium high. Getting the pan hot. This is a new pan for me. Emerald. It's actually probably 15, 20 years old. Second time using it this way here. That's a big old asparagus. Now, you can tell it's old. You see how it's starting to separate at the tip there. You know, it's a really thick, girthy type of a shaft, but the asparagus head itself, you can see it's all matte. It's starting to go to seed. So when it's starting to go to seed, you know, you expect it to look like this. This one, as you can see, is also starting to, it's big, it's bold, it's going to take a long time to cook. So I have to start with that. And then the onions and mushrooms are no big deal. I'll show you that. And we're going live. Thanks for checking it out, guys. I appreciate it. If anybody else has comments about content, if they want to PM me, hey, can I go live sideways? I don't think I can. No, of course not. So, what we got going on, we're going to start out with a movie impression. I'm off camera. Sorry, folks. World's closed. Big moose out front should have told you. Alright, so we're going to start with the asparagus. Oh, actually, first I'm going to show you. Simple, take your basting brush. You want to clean that. If you remember from my previous thing, we've got our garbage bowl. And then I'm just going to brush it. Obviously, I wouldn't do it in the center of the stove for normal, but so you guys can see what I'm doing. There's little tiny things, you just brush them off of there. Now I'll flip this bad boy around. I actually do this quite often when I'm working here. I'm just going to kind of line them up, keep the tips up there. I've already cut these. I know people always say, oh, bend it, you know. I mean, is this all I'm going to eat of this? So we're putting that back down there. Because this is going to be woody, so I'm going to turn it this way. You guys get to see better. Because it's going to be woody, I'm just going to cut it in little tiny discs. Not in any real hurry here. I'm waiting for the pans to get hot. Listen how the knife moves a little easier there. So we're getting to some stuff that's going to be actual asparagus. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of water in that and microwave it. Just a little bit like that. Again, because they're so old, why not soften them up a little bit? Two minutes. Shout out Mr. Corcofegus. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize everybody who's working during this crazy time. You know, drug manufacturer guys, they're out there too. I think sometimes people might forget about the backside. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant and you praise the waiter. Obviously, much more dangerous job. You can see that's pretty hot. For some reason, it's always hotter on front, even though they're the same temperature. So I'll have to calibrate that. You can see how tough that is, but these are going to be alright. Definitely going to have some fiber going on. Next thing's the bacon. You know that this is really hot, so I'm turning that down. Bacon is raw. The one-hand method. I have it in there so it can be manipulated with one hand. The garbage bucket. Again, if you apply this to anything you handle outside of your home environment, you know, you have to go to a store. It's a small store, use the knob. Boom, take this off inside out. I'm going to do 3 pieces. I'm down to 4. I guess I have 5. I'm going to do 3. Again, the idea is to not overeat as well. That minimizes splatter. It also gives me a spot that I can put these if I need it. Those need to get covered. So now we're going to do some eggs. Got plenty of time. Let me flip this around. That was the other part, I'm sorry. I put the bacon on there. So I just got to go back to that slow cooking method and slow down because I'm trying to rush. So I know that that had bacon potentially on it. Even though I'm going to leave it, I'm now working with this stuff. This was just a happy accident. I had a big old cutting board and it cracked right there. And it's been so much more valuable with 2 cutting boards, I can't even explain it. So I just got the last of the purple onion. You can hear that bacon going. I'm going to turn that down to low. Now for people who see the vegan meat all the way at the end, I'll cook it one side just in vegan, olive oil, and then I'll cook on the other side with the bacon fat and butter. It depends on what you're eating the bacon for. If you're a meat eater eating with a vegetarian, and that's the only bacon in the house, I'll show you my favorite way to make it. I'm just taking my time. I want random pieces. I'm not looking for it to all be even because I want this to be an ingredient and I want this to be seasoning. I'm going to turn the back down a little bit. I realize some are getting dropped. I'll clean them up later. Come on, you do it all the time. Not close enough. Alright, so everybody's seen the old white bacon before. I'm going to move this more to the center. I'm going to create my line. So that back part theoretically there's the fat line. It's as close as I can do it for you, folks. Okay, and the main reason I just did that is one person, two person. I'm going to turn this up from low because now this is going to saute. The back there, I'm going to add a little of this Corcafigas olive oil. I've tried several times to level this. There still seems to be a little direction that way. I'm not going to do this for very long. Obviously I don't want to melt the brush, but I want to get it. Mushrooms, same principle. You know, I want some smaller bites for seasoning. Then I want this part here, you know, that chunky, you're eating a vegetable part. That, of course, would take longer than the seasoning part. Again, this is a perfect big and chunky. This is stuff you put on top. Like, you know, just one of these sauteed perfectly on top. And potentially three. Yeah, I got a sub. Now this one, I'm just, you know, this is a crazy train there. I want something other than a regular shaped mushroom in there. I always, you know, working that, you know, chef's angle. You know, that's what your fingernails are for, to guide your knife. Now the difference is vegetarian, so she gets more mushroom. There's the ones I microwave. Butter. Little Corcafigas. Fresh crack. Sea salt. Only on this one. Baby salt. Getting a little sizzle going. Name the calm. So you got to remember, you have bacon fat on the bottom of that pan. That's the only thing that people will forget, including myself almost every time I use it. That's bacon fat. So I'm setting it on another pan, and some of it drips, but it's not too bad. It's cleanable. That's a deep valley of cleanable down there. All right. Eggs. E-double-G-S. Eggs. Start out with a little milk. And let's call it a quarter cup maybe. I try to have everything prepared. I would have normally, you know, just be pulling them straight out. So that's how I'm going to do it here. And that has an X on it, so that's a hard-boiled egg. No X. Into the bowl. What's in the bowl? How you doing, Mrs. Cone? 3 eggs, 3 people. These brown eggs, the shell's cracked, and they always seem to drop a bit. So one of the methods that I always use is go in like that, but then somebody's like, oh, salmonella. But the shell is in here, and it's gone. Washing my hands. So while I'm washing my hands, eggs I'll talk a second about here. We got the Frugal Gourmet did a show on eggs that was absolutely phenomenal. It changed the way I cook. And that's all I'll say about that. But one of the tips I got from there was not to use milk, believe it or not. It was to use water, because water evaporates faster. Now, I still use milk. It's a flavor thing for me. If I'm in the jam, though, water's perfect. You can actually be like, oh, wow, I can really taste the butter. So I'm just using your standard. If I had a 3-tine fork, I would use a 3-tine fork, but I only have these 4 tines. They're great for, you know, killing prey. So there's my eggs. Alright, I got a lot of room here. At this point, I want to try to get that bacon out of the picture before I dump the eggs. So I'm turning going up to about half. I want to get a little more. That's the vegan stuff there. This is the only pan that'll go in back here. That's ready for the omelet portion of the show. This is danger zone for some vegans, but not mine. Oops. Okay, so those are a little dark. There's definitely a little bit of a burn on there, but it's not awful. It'll add character. But I'm going to take that all off right now. Again, some people, you might want to wear a glove. You know, you might use a different spatula. You maneuver different than me. I want to be able to get in the tight spaces. Don't we all? There we go. You can see I did a little finger work there. It's not recommended that you do it that way, but that's how I do it. Now we're getting that bacon done. You did see I had a moment where I brought the bacon over there because my girlfriend enjoys the bacon. So we're getting out of that picture. Olive oil. A lot of it does run in the cracks, as I've mentioned before. And there's one little more butter. That's a vegetarian now, it's not a vegan. Although you wouldn't need a egg anyway, would you? A little mince. I like this because it makes a thin one, and let it run. Let it run. Freeze. That bacon looks just about right. Bacon goes off and it goes with the meat eater. Boom. Smokey Robinson here. I'm going to turn the fan on. Put the old egg bucket away. 2 hard-boiled, 1 regular. If you remember what I said about that crack, that makes a nice little egg strip. We're in no hurry here, folks, but I am going to shut that off. Ay, 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 ay. Double up. Okay, everybody pretty much knows my flip will always suck. But I don't want that to get more than that. We gotta get it out of there. A little bacon zone for, you know, those playing at home. Cheese it. Mushroom. This is also good if somebody doesn't like mushrooms and you had to make several. You would know that would be the one not to get them. All right, so it's gotta give it a second or two there. Now I'm going to clear the stage for the meat eater portion. So I use the pan to push it all up. Just get it in there best you can. I should have done it on a plate. There's a little buyer's remorse trying to go to the pan right now, but that will work out okay. Another heavy cork. But watch how I pour, just a little center stripe. I know that's the hotter spot. Butter. How was her voice? It was like butter. How tender was that steak, Grandpa? You could cut it with a fork. It was like butter. Hey, Grandpa, how was the show you went to last week? Oh, my God, it was like butter. Did you win any money at the casino? Oh, I sure did. It was like butter. It's an instant imitation of my grandfather every time I saw him. He told a fantastic story. They'd just come out with cars required to have daylight running lamps. I'm going to wash my hands because they're covered in butter. Chef towel, I always dry the hands afterwards, after the wash. Never touch it any other time. I'll kill you. Butter. So going around the corner here, you can see it's crazy to me that it's slanting that way, but without setting the world on fire here, I'm going to do something because it's live TV. Put on my PPE and I'm going to shift this board until it has a lean to it. Oh, hammer don't hurt them. So all the oil's running that way, including the eggs too, a little bit. Look at that. Ooh, what's that? So remember, this is only 3 eggs. It looks like I could feed 10 people right now. It's like butter. I almost turned the whole vegetarian omelet onto the center of that. That would have been game over. Game over, man. I want you to play along at home. I expect everybody to be guessing these movie references. Love it, all things holy. This pan is a little hot. It's, you know, if you want to wear a glove, do it. Nobody's telling you not to wear PPE. Butter. So you can see from 3 eggs, this is going to be more than one breakfast, God willing. It's a lot of asparagus. It's like butter. And there's that butter again. A little bacon in there probably. Everything's off now. Everything's off. This is butter. I'm not going to say that again. Butter. Damn it. I'm putting like the meatier, the fattier stuff I'll set over here. But this, like the meat strip, that's the good stuff. That's the good omelet stuff. That stands up. Fatty boy, that's on the side of the plate with Fatty Boy and myself. Again, I washed my hands. I go back to my clean chef towel. Food handling 101. Everybody you order from at a restaurant handles their food better than you. Remember that if you're hesitant. And I believe they're going to have to wear masks. So, again, Cinco de Mayo starts on 14, Abril. Daniel. That's a lot of cheese, Daniel. I like the cheese, though. I like the cheese. And you're always hitting it. Yes, I combined 2 movies. That's how I roll, baby. You better learn them all. Darky, get over there. That is, That's alright, though. I'm just going to keep massaging that. And you know what? I hate to say it, but bacon and fat will hide all of that. Bacon and fat will hide all of that. So I'd like to say to everybody, thank you for watching. So we have 2 omelets going. Most likely that asparagus is going to get repurposed with the dinner later, some of it. But I'd like to give some shout outs real quick. Thank you guys for watching. Krisha, Justin, J-Mo, Jeff. Good seeing you, buddy. Appreciate you guys checking it out. I'll take some pictures of the plates. And thanks for watching. Everybody stay safe out there. Just remember, love people, cook them tasty food. Thank you, Penzi Spice, for my kitchen remodel. Established 2018. Triple D Enterprises. God bless America. I'm proud to be an American. Or at least I can see that my mom actually never got here, so I can only imagine what she's saying at home right now. Take care, all.